Hey guys, Jackson Relaxin here. Today, pretty exciting and a little out of the ordinary. Supercell, if you know who they are, they've made Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, Brawl Stars, obviously some others. If you've done any mobile gaming, you probably know who they are. Well, they just started, well, I'm sure they've been in development of it for a while, but they've been working on something new recently called Project Rise. And I was one of a select group of people who got to play this game in pre-alpha, and will get to continue to play it for just a little bit longer. And I'm allowed to show you guys what it's all about. So that's what I'm going to do today, and more videos very, very shortly as well. But in this one, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the game itself a little bit. And as you can see, I have some gameplay of it going right now. But basically, what is Project Rise, you might be asking? Well, if I recall, it's kind of like what Clash Heroes was going to be, if you know what that is. But basically, you select your hero. There's currently 5 in the game. Yeah, I believe 5. I'll go over more like specific statistics and all that kind of stuff in one of the next videos I make on it. But as you can see right now, I'm using Barbarian, and you have a normal attack. You can then charge up said attack for a more specialized attack, and then you have abilities to go with that as well. And basically, you have hordes of skeletons, goblins, and some other different stuff from the Clash universe attacking you, and you've got to attack it with up to 2 other friends or random people. Currently, it's just random people. You can't like choose who you play with. It is worth mentioning as well, this game is in pre-alpha, so it's like super early on. This is just like the core of the game that's right here. That being said though, I was like really pleasantly surprised playing this earlier, just seeing how far along it really is for one, but like surprisingly smooth as well. And like obviously it was not without some struggles, but I was in the car playing this the entire time on my way back from a trip, so I was fully expecting the mix of not the best signal and also it being so early in development for it to be a kind of not great experience. But I wanted to check the game out, I wanted to make some content on it, so obviously I was like, okay, I'm still gonna play it. I didn't really have many issues. I mean, it was slightly buggy part of the time. There was like a small period of time where I was struggling with lag just a little bit, and I had a couple little things here and there. But it was honestly really surprisingly smooth, and I know a lot of the other people who were also testing out the game did have a lot more issues than I did with stuff like lag or bugs, and even it messing up some of their rounds. So it's not without issues, but honestly it's so far above what I was even expecting it would be. Very pleasantly surprised, and it's pretty fun. I mean, obviously, you know, we've only played a little bit. This is just its core. It's got so much more to go. But I mean, it's pretty good already, to be honest. Another main thing about the game is perks. Now, if you've played games like, honestly, I don't know what I can really think of off the top of my head is Arch Hero, another mobile game, but where as you level up, you pick a perk, and said perk obviously increases something or gives you a new ability, or like smaller ability. It's a perk. It's kind of self-explanatory. Well, this game has that. Your team levels up as a group, collecting elixir, of course. And yeah, once you level up, you go into this little like perk selection mode where all 3 people on your team see the 3 same perk. I don't know if they're like cards or what, but you get 3 options and you pick one of them. And how it works is, say there's 3 people playing and I'm one of them. One of my teammates might get a pick. They pick whichever one of the 3 they want, and then a new one will take that place, and then the next teammate will go, they'll pick theirs, another one will take that place, and then I pick out of the 3, whichever one I want. And you can level up, I think, as much as you want. really, like as long as you you kind of get to pick when you go to the next floor, which by the way, floors are like levels in this. It's kind of like a dungeon type game, you know? And so you kind of get to choose when you go to the next one, so you could stay fighting mobs as long as you really want. What I was noticing when playing a lot, usually get to level 4, maybe 5 every single floor, meaning 4 or 5 perks every game, which is pretty solid. There's also a feature, it's like a wishing well that you can go to, and there's this other, I don't know the actual name of the currency, but it's another type of elixir looking something, but more like crystal-like. And you can go to a wishing well and basically spend those and get perks and also just like damage and health boosters and all. It's pretty cool. But then yeah, once you finish a floor, you'll go to this little like area, and once all of the teammates are on it, you'll go to one final like boss stage where the island will float up and you will fight your way out, and if you make it, you go back to the lobby and can go to the next floor if you so choose. That being said, this early on, you can't play again with the people you just played with, as I said earlier. You can't like choose who you play with, so it's kind of a little difficult right now, because like there's some heroes that I'd say are definitely better than others right now. Obviously, that's how it's gotta be. And so like, and sometimes you'll get paired with people who like aren't necessarily as good. That's just how any game goes. And so like, if you play with someone you like, you guys were all doing great, you can't play again with them yet, but you know, it's so early on this to be expected, and honestly, really not that big of a deal. And then, I'm assuming it's every 5. If I'm being completely honest, I never made it to the 10th floor in the time I had. But I did make it to the 5th one and passed, and basically that is a boss stage. And it's pretty difficult, I kid you not. It took me 3 tries, and you might be thinking, oh, 3 tries, that's not terrible, probably didn't take too long. Well, something interesting, and I wouldn't be shocked if this changes, but I don't really know. We'll just have to wait and see. When you lose and completely die on the floor, like I did in the boss one, you reset, lose all of your perks, and go back to the beginning of floor 1. Completely fresh start. Now, you can get some like special level ups and abilities and all for your heroes, and those stay. But yeah, if you lose, you go back to floor 1 and lose all your perks. So I had to go through all of them 3 times before I was able to actually beat it and then keep moving. And then I made it to almost floor 10, but then the 3 hours was up and I was like, okay, if my progress saves, I'll make it farther tomorrow, or I guess later today because it's really late. And yeah, if it saves, I'll be able to keep moving forward. If not, I actually know what I'm doing now, so I'll probably be able to make it farther. But yeah, it's honestly pretty cool. Again, like especially in terms of it being like so early in development. I mean, pre-alpha, it's not even a beta yet. In fact, that I feel like it's this solid already. Honestly, I'm liking it. It's pretty hype. It's pretty hype. Yeah, and also, like looking at some of the feedback from other people who also tested, I feel like the verdict is pretty positive. There's a couple people who just kind of weren't feeling it, didn't love it, but for the most part, people are like enjoying it and also just like have like high hopes. I mean, we're excited. There's so much they could do with it, and the fact that it's already this solid, I mean, it's a great sign, to be honest. So my thoughts, I love it. I think it's great so far. Obviously, it's not. They wouldn't release it right now by any means. There's no real progression system, to be honest. I mean, with you resetting and losing, basically the little bit you do get every time, there's not a super big progression system. You start out with 3 heroes, Barbarian, Valkyrie, and Archer. And then currently, there's 2 more that you can unlock in the pre-alpha when playing. Fisherman and Firecracker. And then Hog Rider is visible, but he's not able to be gotten yet. So that's the only real progression, is getting those 2 other heroes. And in day one, will not really know what I'm doing. I got them. And so, which is good. I think it's good to get some heroes early on like that. But currently, there's just not a lot of progression. So that's one downside, but again, that's obviously probably going to get changed. So that was a big thing for other people. But overall, I'd say it's really solid so far. Really excited to see how it goes. Taking into account that it's in pre-alpha, for what it is, I'd give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10. Obviously, if we're comparing it to, say, Brawl Stars, which I'd say it's probably most similar to out of all the other Supercell games, it doesn't quite, it's not really even. But for what it is and the fact that it's this early on, honestly, it's really solid. I'm excited to see what they do with it. And hopefully you guys are excited too. Make sure you guys subscribe because I'm going to be posting a lot more videos on it. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth with some stats on what every hero does specifically. And then also a lot of the perks and what they do and what personally I think is the best route to go with. Obviously the whole meta is probably going to change by the time most people get their hands on it, if that even does happen. But why not? And then also probably going to make a video on some changes that I think should be made or some stuff that I think should get implemented. There's already an area in the server that we're all in for the testing where I've posted fairly long descriptions of some stuff that I think would really improve the game, and a lot of other stuff has been sent in by all the other testers as well. So there's a lot to go through, so I'll definitely make a video on that as well. All in all, though, I think it's super cool. It's always exciting when Supercell's working on a new game, and hopefully you guys are as excited as I am. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.